Hello and welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Lou. If you don't know me, I am a full-time liveaboard sailor. I have been living in the Med with my husband on a small sailboat for a little over 5 years now. And this channel, there are a few videos that are our origin story, how we got started in this lifestyle and why we chose this lifestyle. And then the most recent video was talking a little bit about how much it actually costs us, because people are always interested and people always assume we're rich. So in this video I'm going to talk a little bit about how we started saving once we decided we wanted to do this, and how we make money now to support the lifestyle. We went on a sailing holiday in 2018. We came back, my husband said, let's buy a boat and go sailing until the money runs out. I went, no, let's go sailing, but let's not have the money run out, because I didn't want to be in a position where we had to move back to land life, even though we didn't want to, because we had no money left. So we came up with a 5-year plan, and the short version is COVID screwed us, and two and a bit years into the 5-year plan we accidentally got a bit drunk and bought a boat while on holiday. You'll need to watch the origins videos to find out a bit more about that. But basically, once we decided, yep, this is what we want to do, we lived, breathed and slept the grand plan, and we became very careful with our money. We just had a bit of a mantra. Every time we wanted to buy something, we went, is this come on the boat with us? And if it was, then great. But if it wasn't, we stopped and said, how much use are we going to get from it between now and whenever? Do we really need it? Would it be better to put that into the savings pot? And that's not to say that we didn't buy things, because we still did, but we were a lot more selective about what we bought. And if there was something that we really particularly wanted, we'd maybe sleep on it for a little while and decide, if we were still thinking about it, we'd buy it. If we weren't, there's no point, because it was an impulse purchase. One of the first things that I did, I was working part-time at the time. I was just doing a 3-day week, and that was because I'd had a breakdown through work-related stress. So I couldn't face the thought of going back full-time to that job, but I knew that the easiest way for me to be able to save more would be to be working full-time again. So that's the first thing I did. Now, in hindsight, if I'd have known now, and if I'd have known then what I know now, I wouldn't have done that. I'd have started my business, or I'd have started some kind of side hustle that I could have done in my spare time and just carried on working those 3 days. But that's irrelevant, I guess, now. But I got a full-time job, so I went back to working full-time, which was obviously a reasonable increase in salary. In addition to that, my partner used to do shift work, so he would work continental shifts, 4 on, 4 off, 2 days, 2 nights, followed by 4 days off to get back into a normal sleeping rhythm, only to stuff it up again 4 days later. But he used to work 12-hour shifts, and there were always extra shifts available, so he tried to take on an extra couple of shifts every month. So that made a huge difference to the amount that he could put away. So we were naturally being a lot more frugal anyway. And then we also signed up to anything where we could earn free money. Martin Lewis, money saving expert, his newsletter became my Bible. I would scan it as soon as it would come out and see what options there were, in terms of, quite often there would be free this and free that, or vouchers for this and vouchers for that. But you would often also get special offers where if you were to invest £50 in some new platform that had just come out, then you would get 100% bonus if you left it in there for 3 months. And little things like that. So anytime we saw anything like that, if we were eligible, we signed up. And I switched my bank account. At the time, I got a bonus from Nationwide for switching. Because Ray was already with them, he got a bonus for referring me. And that one's paid dividends, really, because actually Nationwide have started doing their fairer share payment. So we also get £100 every year for the last 3 years. So that's £600 between us. And then I think last year as well, we got an extra £50 for something to do with them buying out Virgin Bank, or being bought out by Virgin Bank. I get very confused. But anyway, regardless, I think that has actually netted us around about £1,000 between the two of us over the last few years. So that was a really good one to do. Completely free, completely easy. So I always recommend to people to change their bank account to something that's offering a decent bonus, and quite often as well you'll get a linked account with that. So quite often some of the perks are, I've seen 7% savings for a limited time if you have a related savings account. That's a really good one. 7% is an amazing rate of interest on just cash in the bank type savings. That's a really good return. So that can earn you quite a lot of money. The other thing that we did was, I had a horse, and although I kept him very much on a budget at DIY stables where I did everything myself, it still did add up. It's not a cheap hobby, and for various health reasons it had become not much of a fun hobby for me either. At the time I had an undiagnosed condition, and I had really severe pain when riding, so riding had not been enjoyable for quite a while, which was a real shame. But it was a bit of a no-brainer at that point then to sell my horse. And I also had a small 3.5 ton horse box, so I sold that as well. So that gave us a reasonable chunk of cash. Then cashback, we made sure that we were utilising cashback for almost everything. So I had a credit card that was offering cashback for, I think it was 3 months. So for that 3 months, everything went on that credit card, and then it just got paid off in full every month. Great little way to earn some extra money, and I paid nothing in interest because it was always paid off. The other thing that happened when I was on furlough, I took on a second job doing some cleaning, and wind's just picked up, so apologies if that's interfering with the sound, but I have to record this while my husband's gone ashore because I'm not good at doing it with an audience. So I picked up a second job cleaning holiday lets once Wales opened up for tourism that first summer. A lot of the property sort of maintenance caretakers were older people who just did that 1 day a week for a bit of pin money, and most of them were shielding on self-isolating and what have you because they were vulnerable, understandably. So I took on cleaning of 2 properties. It was 1 day a week, and it earned me £150 a week, which is not to be sniffed at on top of my 80% furlough wages. So that was a great little earner. But if I was in a position again where I needed extra cash, that's definitely a job that I would look for. It's reasonably well paid for the amount of hours that you do. It's also seasonal, so you're not tied into doing something all year round, and it's something you can do short term. And actually I really enjoyed it because I got to see different properties and have a nosy at places that you wouldn't normally get to see, and I saw some amazing properties. So yeah, that's definitely something I would look at again. The other thing I would always say is, if you need extra money, if you've got anything like a caravan park or a campsite or anything like that around you, having worked on those in the past, I can guarantee that reliable staff for seasonal jobs are much sought after, and it's a great way to earn some extra income without being tied down to the permanency of a permanent role. Or you can do what I do and offer virtual services and that in your own time. So that's definitely something I would look at if I was in that position again now. I'm just trying to think if there was anything else. I'm sure there are lots. But that gives you an idea. We became very good at couponing, and we became very frugal, and we became very good at arranging our menus around special offers and utilising supermarket loyalty schemes and things. So, for example, Tesco Club Card, they will often offer 3 times the face value of your vouchers if you use them with one of their rewards partners. And quite often it would be something that there would be something for gifts or Flowers through the mail was a classic one. So if ever I was looking for something anyway, say I wanted to send my mum some flowers, you cannot send my mum a bouquet of flowers because you can never guarantee that she's going to be at home to receive anything, because she's always off gallivanting. She's amazing like that. So flowers that fit through the letterbox for her, they're stems with buds on, they were perfect. So anytime there's anything like that, I'd always check Tesco Clubcard website first, because if I could use £5 worth of vouchers and get £15 off of that, that was a big saving on something that I was going to buy anyway. So it's just about being as savvy as you can be, and just always having at the forefront of your mind how you can capitalise on every opportunity, because even if it's only 50p here and £1 there, it does add up over time and it does make a big difference. And I can see I've already overrun a little bit and I haven't actually talked at all about how we make money and how we manage that now. So that's going to be next episode. I'm going to tell you how we get the best possible returns off the limited income that we have and how we manage that. Okay, bye for now.